It was about a year and a half ago when Vulcain reissued a very popular watch, their Nautic Skin Diver. And then they turned around and made an incredible bracelet for this watch, making it an extremely popular diver, especially among those who are looking for something affordable but of very high quality. Today, they are releasing a GMT version of this Nautic Skin Diver, and it gets a lot of the same details as their dive watch. However, you are getting a GMT function. I have one hands-on, and I am very excited about this watch. So let's flip the camera and take a look at Vulcain's latest release, the Nautic Skin Diver GMT. There aren't a lot of people talking about the Nautic Skin Diver. I have no idea why. This is a very handsome watch. It's based on the diver that they came out with about 2 years ago. That was a reissue of their original Nautic Skin Diver. Then they came out with a bicompax chronograph version, again based on a pretty rare bicompax chronograph that they came out with in the, I think it was the 1970s. It was basically a one-for-one, really good looking watch as well. All three of these watches are available on this bracelet, and this is definitely part of it for me, at least. This bracelet adds a lot of appeal to this watch that you don't find from any other brand out there. It's something completely different and immediately makes this watch recognizable because of that bracelet. Each one of those links is a solid link. Now you see 3-link bracelets, you see beads of rice, you see all different types of bracelets, and actually you can get this watch on different bracelets as well. They offer different bracelets and straps on their website, but if I were going to buy this watch today, or if I knew somebody who was going to buy this watch today, I would say buy it on this bracelet. It is extremely unique and very comfortable. I get questions from people asking, is that bracelet comfortable? It doesn't look comfortable. Let me tell you something. It is very comfortable and it's extremely well made. The links are beautiful. There's polishing all around each one of those links. And then you get a really nice clasp that has on-the-fly micro adjust that is really well made as well. So it's handsome, it's classy, and it's very functional. You're getting 200 meters of water resistance in any of the Nautic Skin Divers. So if you buy the diver, obviously 200 meters of water resistance. This GMT gets 200 meters of water resistance, and their chronograph, that bicompax, gets 200 meters of water resistance. I own all three of those watches, including this one obviously, and I love them. And I know I'm going to love this watch. I haven't worn it much yet, but I will be wearing it all weekend, and I am very excited about this watch. This is a GMT version, so it's almost the exact same dimensions as my Nautic Skin Diver, the diving version. However, you're getting a Soprod C125 inside. So my Nautic Skin Diver and that chronograph both have Valjoux, well, the Valjoux and an ETA movement in it. This one is getting a Soprod movement. They went with a Soprod rather than an ETA movement. Not sure why. The Soprod is a high-grade movement. This competes with the likes of the SW300 or the 2895, I want to say. It could be the 93. I think it's the 95. No, it's the 93. And that is their GMT movement. This is very thin for a GMT. You get a domed boxed sapphire crystal, a bi-directional 24-hour bezel that has 24 clicks, and it is really nice. You get really nice clicks with this bezel. Very satisfying. It's really nice. I'm just blown away by these watches because, like I said, I feel like no one's talking about them. They need more attention, especially for the prices that they're asking for. These are excellent. You can get the basic version of this, the diving version, on this bracelet for under $2,000. That is worth every penny. And that does get an ETA movement, like I was saying before. The Soprod C125, a high-grade movement, again on par with the 300 and the 2890 models, and it functions like those movements as well. So this is a military GMT or an office GMT, depending on what you want to call it, But essentially, all that means is that when you put it into the second position, you can change the date and change the GMT hand, which is right here in red. There are two versions of this available. This is the version with the creamy lume. This is the old radium version. And then there is one with bright white lume. I like that they do that, and they do that for a lot of their models. So they'll come out with two versions. One will have white lume, one will have vintage style lume. There are some people who don't like vintage style lume. So if you don't like that, you don't have to get it. You can get one with white lume. You can get it on this bracelet. It costs exactly the same amount of money. Really a great idea. I don't know, again, I don't know why more brands don't do that. Specifically, things like offering different lume, but they also offer different bracelets. So yeah, maybe you don't like the look of this bracelet. I love it. Maybe you don't like it though. You can get a beads of rice. You can get a traditional bracelet for this that you would get on other dive watches. If you want to make it look a little bit more unique, a little bit more special, go with this bracelet, because no one else is going to have a bracelet that looks like this on their wrist. And for me, that's just attractive. I think that's a very cool feature of this watch. You have a large crown on here. It's screwed in. You have a screwed in case back that is solid. 200 meters of water resistance. So this is technically not a diving GMT, although it has the chops to be a diving GMT because you don't have a diving bezel on here. You do have a GMT bezel so that you could read a third time zone. This is a 38 millimeter watch. I measured around 37.8 millimeters, somewhere in that range. So essentially that's what it measures at the case and the bezel. You have a 44.2 millimeter lug to lug, and then around a 12.1 millimeter thickness. 6.4 millimeter crown. That crown is signed with the V logo. I love the V logo. I mention that in every video that I do where I'm featuring a Vulcain. I just love their logo. I think it looks really, really good. You have a printed dial. Those are printed in lume, so the indices are printed in lume. You have a white minute track, and then you have stick hands. Those are lumed, and the GMT hand is lumed. I have no idea if there's lume on the second hand. However, I don't believe there is. That might be my only complaint about this watch. Up at the top, right below the 12 o'clock index, it says Vulcain, and then right below that, it says Nautic, because this is the Nautic. And then at the bottom of the dial, it says GMT. It's a GMT, obviously. And then right below that, 200 meters, because this does get 200 meters of water resistance. You have a matte finish dial, I would say. It's black. And then you have a glossy ceramic bezel that is also black. And then you have a date at the 3 o'clock. You do get a color match date window. And then there's a little surround around that date window that sort of balances out the index at 9 o'clock. Flipping it over, I mean, this is a beautiful clasp. It's a beautiful bracelet. Solid end links, screwed links. You have a beautiful clasp on here that is signed with that V logo. It is, I think it's applied. I don't know. It's embossed out of the clasp. It looks really good. It's brushed. It's polished. When you flip it open, it's double push button. Inside, you have on-the-fly micro adjust. It's a tab, and when you put it on your wrist, you can adjust the size very easily to your wrist every single day. I love these new forms of micro adjust because they're really easy to use. There's no button that you have to push. You can just push the links in on the side, and that's it. It will fit your wrist different every single day. On my wrist today, I have another Vulcain. This is the green pistachio lime green dial of their Heritage Mono Pusher. I love this watch. This watch is available on this bracelet now. So I think you can go on their website and choose the bracelet that's on the Nautic Skin Diver for their Heritage chronographs, which is pretty cool. And it transforms this watch as well. This looks very vintage. When you put this bracelet on there, it still looks vintage, but more of a neo-vintage look, in my opinion. I really love this watch. I love this bracelet as well. I think combining this bracelet with any of their watches is going to work really well. And there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. It's sized up for my 7.5 inch wrist, as you can see. I'll be wearing this all weekend because I just love this watch and I can't wait to wear it. It is a 38 millimeter watch, or just under 38 millimeters is what I measured. It wears like a 38 millimeter watch in my opinion, maybe like a 39 in between. the 2, you know, it doesn't wear small. I don't think it wears big. It wears just right. And it's around 12.1 millimeters thick. You can see it's not thick on my 7.5 inch wrist. And then you have that 44.2, 44.1 lug to lug. Really great. It looks fantastic on my 7.5 inch wrist. And there's the lume. The lume is really good on here. Lots of lume applied to the indices and hands. There is no lume on the second hand, but there is lume on the GMT hand. I wish there was a little bit of lume on the second hand so that you could see that your watch is working in the dark. Again, I always complain about that. That is a personal thing, but again, I always like more lume, so a little bit of lume on the second hand definitely would not hurt. That's really it. That would be my only complaint about this watch. $2,432 for it on a strap. That's a great price, but I would definitely go a little bit more, spend a little bit more money and get this bracelet. $2,766, somewhere in that range, for this watch with this bracelet. And it is hands down worth the extra money. You could always buy one of their straps or put an aftermarket strap. I think this gets a 20 millimeter lug span. So that means you could put pretty much any strap that you want on it, and it'll look great on a strap as well, but you'll have that bracelet, you know, for a little bit of a different look and something that is pretty unique. You're not going to see anybody else wearing a watch like this with a bracelet like that anywhere. That's kind of the reason why I like it so much. I keep on saying that, but that's the truth. They've recently come out with 2 new chronographs, one with a meteorite dial. It is so good. That's a limited edition. I think it's of only 100 pieces. And then a salmon dial. Again, that's a limited edition of around 100 pieces. Those are getting display case backs. I'm really excited about those watches as well. This is a very exciting watch. Definitely check out their website if you are interested in this watch or the Nautic Skin Diver, which, like I said, is cheaper than this watch. You can get that watch on the bracelet for around that $2,000 price point. There is no watch that looks that unique, has the heritage and the handsome good looks like this watch, in my opinion. And that's the reason why I think more people should be talking about it, but they aren't. I don't know why, but that's really it. Anyway, tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. I'll put a link to this watch and the watch that I had on my wrist down in the description. If you're interested, definitely check out their website. Amazing watches, great watch company, and I love what they are doing. Definitely check them out. That's really it, guys. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.